Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you didn't watch my first video, my name is Darla. I'm mom of a 9-month-old baby boy, and I'm here to talk to you guys about some 9-month-old baby concerns that I have for my little one. So his name is Mitchell Taylor. So his dad is Mitchell, his dad is Mitch, and his great-grandfather is also Mitchell. They're all Mitchells, but they all have different middle names. So I knew that my son would have to be Mitchell. Oh, clearly. And I always thought it was so cute and sweet. In the back of my head, I had a little concern, like it might be really hard for me to call both of them Mitchell. If anyone else out there has their husband and their son the same name, then maybe you understand, or maybe you can help me know how you deal with it better, because it's been very frustrating to sit there and have conversations with people and say, well, Mitchell's doing blah, 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 or go tell Mitchell, go get Mitchell, or it can literally be anything. And the answer always is, they look at me funny and they go, which Mitchell? And it is the most frustrating thing ever. On top of that, I've always called my husband Mitchell. I've never called him Mitch. So I don't think I can just magically just start calling him Mitch. That's not practical for me. It just doesn't make sense. It feels weird. His dad is Mitch. So when I say Mitch, I'm thinking of my father-in-law. When I say Mitchell, I'm thinking of my husband, not my baby. And that has been the hardest obstacle I've had to overcome with his name. And I feel so bad because I haven't been calling him Mitchell. I truthfully call him Taylor, his middle name. I didn't really think I was going to, but it was so difficult, and I really did try to call him Mitchell, but I want him to have his own name. I want to know that when I say Taylor, that I know I'm thinking about my baby, that I know I'm referring to my baby, and people aren't sitting there going, well, which one are you talking about? So that's just kind of where I'm at on that, and I don't know what to do, because my husband is very dead set on, no, he's a Mitchell, his name has to be Mitchell. Well, his birth legal name is Mitchell, but he refuses to call him anything else. So he calls him Mitchell. Of course, his mom and his dad clearly call him Mitchell, Mitchell man. I just can't do it. My side of the family has a hard time calling him Mitchell too, because my husband and I have been dating since 2012. It's 2022. We got married in 2019 of October. We've been together for a very long time. People have always known him as Mitchell. It's very hard for them to try and call someone else the same name. So they call him Taylor too. Or my mom calls him Tater. So he's got a few different names. So sometimes he does respond to his name, but sometimes I get concerned that he doesn't know his name and that we should all stick to one name. But it's just, like I said, it's been a really hard obstacle for us to deal with. And so going off of that to another topic, I just wanted to talk about his weight for a little bit. So when he was born, he was 7 pounds, 13 ounces. He was almost 8 pounds, and I felt it. I was literally so blown away when they told me that I basically had an 8-pound kid. He was 20 inches long, and that last month, I'm pretty sure my ribs were going to rip open from the inside. They hurt so bad, so bad. But yeah, that's another story for another day, and my pregnancy journey and all that fun stuff. Anyways, so he started off really well. Okay, he's good weight, good size, good lean, all that good stuff. So he started dropping weight, and he kind of stayed in he dropped to about the 25th percentile, and he slowly started to stay around the 20th percentile. And even at one visit, I want to say, 5 months I took him in, he was dehydrated. He'd been throwing up a lot, which was really wild. I just started him on solids, and he was vomiting, like vomiting everything up. And I was like, what is happening with my kid? And they weighed him and he was like in the 5th percentile. So, you know, that really stressed me out. So this time he went and he's been on formula now for probably about 3 weeks. I just had to stop breastfeeding, which makes me really sad. Also another video I want to touch on, but I had to switch to formula. And he's been doing well. His weight is now to 19 pounds, but he's so short. Like his growth, he was kind of like this and now he's kind of like this. He's only 27 inches long. So I don't know. When he was a few months ago, he was like 26 and a quarter, 26 and a half. So he grew some, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna have a short kid. Who knows? So 8 months old, I really thought he was going to start crawling. Like he was on his hands and knees, he's rocking back and forth, and I just thought, okay, we're gonna crawl, let's baby-proof the house, let's do all the things. So he started army crawling, and you guys, this guy is a professional army crawler. He gets around, but army style. He does not get on his hands and knees. I tried so hard. I'm like, maybe I can help teach him. So I'll like pick him up by the little hips, and I'll try and teach him to like get on your hands and knees, buddy. Let's go. And he just gets mad, you know. He's not excited about it. So I'll just leave it be. I'm sure he'll get there. The other day though, I walked in and he was standing on this little chair over there, guys. I walked into the room and I was like, oh my God, you just pulled up on your own. So that was really exciting. Yeah, took him a little bit longer to meet milestones, took him a little bit longer to roll both ways. He didn't really start sitting up on his own independently until he was 8 months old. So, you know, the guy's maybe a late bloomer. Who knows? He refused to hold his bottle. And I don't feel like it's that he can't do it, because I've seen him do it. And he used to do it more. And I'll put his hands on the bottle and I'm like, hey buddy, you gotta hold your bottle. And he's like, jerks it away. And he's so mad about it. I'm just like, okay, I'll try to feed him. I really wanted to do baby led weaning so bad. But no, home dude sits there and he's got his happy hand motion. And he's like, yes, feed me, I'm hungry. And he's like, woo. He's hysterical. I have to put a clip in. And I'm just like, okay, and try to teach him, you know, like, let's try to pick things up with our hands, because he puts everything in his mouth except his food. Like, whatever. I don't get it. So I've been making all of my own homemade purees, which I'll do a video on that as well. So yeah, but so my biggest concern that I wanted to touch on is since he was 5 months old, and it didn't really bug me then, and I don't know if it's a behavioral thing, if it's him trying to balance or what, but he just kind of sits there and if he's sitting up or something, he's always so excited. He's kind of get his happy hands up, and I'm just like, cool, it's cute. And then he did it 6 months, 7 months, now we're at 9 months, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? So he's kind of a little concerned. I'm like, I don't want to have thoughts about this about my kid, but at the same time, I want to know what's happening with him. And I'm like, is he doing this because he's on the spectrum? I don't know. And it really it scares me, but at the same time, this isn't something that I would want to be in denial about as much as it would suck. I'd rather just get him treatment, and I pray that's not it, and that it's just his thing. Kids do weird stuff all the time. Oh, another really weird thing this kid does. He rocks in his crib. Like, he gets on his hands and knees and, you know, he just rocks back and forth. But when he's pissed, he starts slamming his head repetitively into the crib. And I'm like, whoa, what are we doing, buddy? And he's crying. But then, you know, he starts crying louder. And I'm like, you're probably crying because you're pissed. And now you're crying because your head probably hurts. I would assume. So, obviously, guys, I go and get him. I don't let my kid repeatedly slam his head into the crib. Don't worry. So, he sleeps in a pack and play now, so he can't hurt himself. Because he still does that, and it scares me. He started doing it at 7 months. He stopped doing it, so I put him back in his crib, and then I noticed he started doing it again, and it's like terrifying when you just hear bam, 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 like on the monitor, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And it's so loud. And I put my hand in between his head and the crib just to see, like, how hard are you slamming your head? And it was crushing my fingers. So I was like, okay, we are not coming out of the pack and play until you are like for sure done, because I'm not letting you give yourself like a concussion or something. So that's another strange thing that he does. But I don't know, you guys. I mean, he's really good with others. He loves animals. He loves people. He interacts well with others. He maintains contact. He does respond to his name, depending. I think he gets confused because he has so many different names, like I talked about earlier. He laughs, he smiles, he talks. I don't know. So I really kind of feel like it's a behavioral thing, or my husband thinks that maybe it's a balance thing, because he mainly just does it when he's sitting up or something like that. So we'll see. I did talk to my pediatrician about it, and he said that it's rare that they see that in babies after 6 months, especially by 9 months, but at 12 months it really needs to go away, or he has to get evaluated. So I think I'm probably going to take him to be evaluated, make sure nothing's going on. If he's still doing this in another month, I don't think I want to wait until he hits that 12-month mark. I'd rather just go ahead and act and do something and know, and just be in control about it as much as we can be. But I do think that it's just behavioral, but at the same time, I don't want to ignore it, obviously. So that's where we're at with that. Yeah, but other than that, he's just a typical, really happy kid. He's not always the best sleeper. Sometimes he wakes up multiple times through the night, and other nights he does well. The doctor said that we should not be feeding him anymore through the night, that his body doesn't need it. So what we're doing is that we're trying to give him the opportunity to self-soothe and put himself back to sleep, because I know he's capable of it, and so that he's able to get more rest. If he's not sleeping well, he's at more risk for, not meeting his milestones, not developing appropriately. Sleep is so crucial. So I want to make sure that he has opportunity to try and get back to sleep. Because if I go in there or Dad goes in there, he loses it. He's screaming. He is up now. And that's not healthy for anybody. So that's just what we're doing. And last night we tried it. He didn't wake up to 4, which was amazing. And we gave him the opportunity to self-soothe, and he did. So we're going to start doing that and see how that goes. But yeah, little man is great. He's wonderful. He's sweet. He's got the biggest eyes. I will put a little clip of him at the end when I go pick him up today. He's just the sweetest little thing. But yeah, I'll let you guys meet him here in just a second. I'm gonna get it. What are you doing? What are you doing?